Hello, and welcome to Center's Politics. Today is July 22nd, 2024, 106 days away from the 2024 presidential election. Yesterday, President Joe Biden dropped out of the race, endorsing Kamala Harris as a successor. She has quickly gotten almost unanimous support from the Democrats, and it's very, very likely that she becomes the party's nominee this November. You can see in the polls here that against Trump, Harris is losing by 1.7%. That is not good, but something interesting to note is that against just in the matchup Trump versus Biden, Biden was losing by 3%. So Harris actually overperforms Biden just by 1.3%, which does not seem like a lot, but in politics, 1% can make literally all the difference. If there was just a 1% shift, then Biden would have likely lost the election. Trump would have lost as well. I mean, 1% matters a lot. And seeing that, Harris is this close is good news. But it's something still to caution, though, because Biden won the 2020 election by a margin of 4.5%, and Harris is down 1.7%. That is not good. That is not good at all. That is just over a 6 point shift within just 3.5 years. So that is just not where Democrats want to be, only a couple months away from the presidential election. You can see in the betting markets here as well that Trump is still favored to win the election with 61%, with Harris down at 42%, which isn't actually that bad of a margin. I mean, it is a 19-point deficit, but it's not the worst. It is still recoverable, but I still do think Trump is very likely to win. I actually do think he's slightly underpriced here. He should be higher because I do think this is recency bias because he just, announced, things look just better than they actually are just for the Democrats right now. But something interesting to see is that Trump's favorable ratings are only -11, which is the highest they have ever been, I think, or some of the highest. I mean, he was down at like -5 back then, but this is still like good for such a polarized nation. A -11% favorable rating is not the worst, while Kamala Harris is down at -14. So she's 3 points more unpopular than President Trump, which is also bad news for her. However, Kamala Harris can actually form coherent sentences. She can actually articulate her trains of thoughts fairly well, and she's younger. So those are three things that Joe Biden, to the public at least, seems to struggle with. So I do think those three things will help Kamala Harris slightly. And let's just get to the map. So currently, Trump leads by already this pretty sizable margin, just with the solid and likely states filled out. Yep. So these are all of the swing states. You got the regular ones such as Nevada and Arizona and Wisconsin and Michigan, but you also have some new ones such as Minnesota. Oh wait, I forgot about Colorado. That will go likely blue probably. We got the state of New Mexico as a swing state now. Even New Jersey, because polling seems to indicate that this state is a lot closer than it was in previous elections. Now, to begin filling this out, I do think that the states of North Carolina and Georgia are both lean Republican. Trump will win these states by close to 5 points, I think. Actually, North Carolina might even be likely, but like I do think that Trump will improve greatly upon his margins in the 2020 election. The states of Nevada and Arizona as well. Those are both lean. I do think the states of Wisconsin and Michigan both go to President Donald Trump. Michigan is lean, I'd say, and so is Wisconsin. Although Wisconsin could be argued as a likely, but I do think that this is fair for right now. And Pennsylvania will follow the rest of its neighbors, also becoming a lean Republican state. Trump will win all these states between 1 to 5 points. I actually do think Georgia and Wisconsin could, like he could win by even more than 5 points. But for now, I will play it safe and categorize these as lean states. Now we move over just to the state of Virginia, which has been talked about a lot recently, because the state, in the polling at least, seems to have sifted into Trump's column. We can take a look here. And wait, where is it? There's like the no toss-up map. And Virginia is now categorized as a red state in the RCP average. Trump leads by a whopping 0.4%, which is a very small margin, but it's very, very interesting because this has never been a close state. I mean, Biden won it by nearly 10 points 4 years ago. And I do think a 10-point shift is concerning. But to be fair, it is no longer Biden we are up against, it is Harris. So I think Virginia, even though the polling seems to indicate that it's very, very close, I do think it will ultimately go. Actually, this one's difficult. It's gonna be razor thin. I think it will be one of the closest states of the 2024 election. But for now, I will categorize Virginia as a very tilt Democrat state. Yeah. And for the state of Minnesota, it's also very, very difficult because I think Governor Tim Walz is being talked about as a potential VP pick for Kamala Harris. If that is the case, then Minnesota goes blue. But for now, I do think. Wait, let me look at the polls to see where this race currently is. Okay, so Biden was leading Trump by 3%. I do think Harris will overperform Biden by maybe half a point, maybe 1 point if she's like really, really lucky. Um, I don't know. I think for now, I will categorize Minnesota as a tilt Democrat state. Yeah, I feel pretty confident doing that. So we go over to the state of New Mexico, and yeah, so Biden was actually doing like not terrible in the state, and I do think Harris will do better considering it is near California, her home state, which he will improve upon by probably like, like 2 points maybe because California is already like super deep blue. But New Mexico, I do think it will go to the Democrats. Yeah, like that. The state of New Jersey. Now this is a pretty big soccer, but some polls show Trump leading Biden, and now it is Harris. So there has yet to be any polls coming out in this state for Harris versus Trump. But for now, I do think that the Democrats will hold on to it, but by a very lean margin. Like this could be a sleeper race. I mean, if Trump has a really good night, he could pick off the state and win in like a Reagan style landslide. The state of New Hampshire, I do think will. Let me check. The state of New Hampshire. This one's difficult. You know what? Since I gave Minnesota and Virginia both to Harris, I do think Trump will win the state of New Hampshire, but by a very tilt margin. And the state of Nebraska at large, I still do think that is going to Harris by a tilt margin as well. Nebraska's second district, it will also go to Kamala Harris, but by a lean margin. So that is my final map, 222 to 316. Trump wins the presidency, becoming the 47th president of the United States. He will be the first president to serve two non-consecutive terms since Grover Cleveland back in the 1880s, I think. And yeah, this is my current prediction. I do think things could get a lot worse for either candidate. And Harris still has a chance, but a very small one. So as of July 22nd, this is my prediction. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I appreciate hearing all perspectives. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and have a great day.